In this lesson, we're going to look at how to create stem and leaf plots and why they are important in mathematics. So first of all, some information about stem and leaf plots. So stem and leaf plots are another way of displaying data. Each piece of data is split into two parts. You have a stem and you have a leaf. Okay, so we're going to be looking at how we set up this stem and leaf plot and how it's structured. The stem is written on the left column and then the leaves are written on the right, from smallest to largest. So it's important to remember that the leaves should be in order. So we've got our stem and leaf plot here. So we have the stem on the left. Basically, these numbers here are all part of the stem. And then we have the leaves on the right. So all of these numbers here are the leaves here. Now, to be able to read this, we need to make sure we have a key. So with every stem and leaf plot, we have a key with it. Now, you can see that this key here is saying that 2 as the stem and 1 being the leaf is 21. So in this stem and leaf, the stem are tens and the leaves are our units. So for example, this value here, if I was looking at what this value is here, the stem to this value is 3 and the leaf is 2. If I have 3 tens, that's going to be 30. And if I have 2 units, that's going to be 2. So this number here is 32. This number here is a 7. Its stem is 4. Therefore, this number is representing 47. That's how stem and leaf plots work. It allows us to write a large amount of data quite easily. One of the most important things is to make sure your leaves are in numerical order. See how these are all from lowest to highest, the lowest being closest to this line here. So let's try an example. So first of all, look at this stem and leaf plot. What does the key mean? So if we're looking at this key here, part A, well, that key is telling you that the stem is the tens. So the stem is equal to the tens and the leaf is units. That's why 1, 9 is 19. Traditionally, that is how we set up a stem and leaf. Sometimes we have the hundreds and the tens as the stem and just the units as the leaf. The leaf should be individual numbers. We should never have double digits as leaves. They should always be 1 digit. All right, part B. What is the largest number in the plot? We can see the stem is working from smallest to largest. So further down is going to be the largest. And we work across or out from that, so to the 6. So therefore the largest value in this stem and leaf would be 26. Part C, what is the smallest number? Well, we're going to do the exact opposite. We're going to go, well, that's largest to smallest, and then working back to the closest one to the stem, which is the 2. 0 tens, 2 units, that's going to be 2. Part D, how many numbers are there? Well, we don't want to count the stem because the stem's just telling us the tens. We want to count how many individual leaves we have. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 numbers. So we have 9 numbers all up. And part E, what is the most common number? Well, we want to see if there's any numbers repeating. And I can look through and I see that there are 2 7s that have been repeated. That must be the most common, remembering that that's not just 7. Our stem for this is 1. So we have 1, 10, 7 units. The most common number would be 17. Be careful with that. That catches a lot of students out. They would just write 7. Don't forget to check the stem. All right, now we're going to look at actually setting up a stem and leaf. So you get a huge range of data like this, and we have to put it into a stem and leaf. I'm going to take you through my recommended steps. So step 1, find the highest and lowest number, because this is going to see how many stems we need or what value of stems we need. So you scan the numbers and we have a look and see, well, there's an 8 there. We continue on. There's a 4. It looks like the 4 is our lowest. So I'm just going to quickly highlight that to remind myself that the 4 is the lowest. Now let's look for the highest. So we've got so far 23, 46, 46, 42. Nope, 46 is still the largest. Scanning, nope. So 46 is our largest. So I'll highlight that. So what that means is our stem, if we're going to make the tens for the stem, has to start at 0 and go all the way to 40. So I'm going to set that up now. Okay, so you can see I've set up my stem ready to go, and I've got 0 all the way to 4 to represent all the way to 40. Now we need quite an organized approach, because remember, the leaves have to be in order. So let's go through and highlight all the numbers between 0 and 10, because they'll go together. So we've got the 8, we've got the 4 already highlighted, and that's it. There's no other just units. So we're going to put them next to the 0, and that in order that's going to go 4, then 8. Now I'm going to do my 10. So I might highlight them in blue. So I need the teens between 10 and 20. So we've got 12, 17, we've got 15 here, 12, 13, we've got 10 itself counts in that, and 15 and 18. We scan once more, making sure we haven't missed any of those numbers starting with 1. No, we haven't. Now we have to write these in order. So the first one is going to be 10. All right, now because we've got a lot, I might cross these off as we go as well. So 10, the next one is 12, and there's actually 2 12s, so we're going to write 2 2s. The next one being 13, and then cross it off. We've then got 2 15s, so we're going to write 2 5s, cross that off, and then we've got 17 and 18, so we're just going to write a 7 and an 8, cross off those 2. To make it easier, I'll also cross off the 8 and the 4 from before. Now we're going to do the 20s. So again, I'm going to highlight all the 20s. So I've got 23, 28, 22, 27, 28, 25, and 28. Again, there's quite a few, so I'm going to go through and check them off as I go. The smallest one of those pinks ones is 22. Cross that off. I've then got a 23. I cross that off. The next one's going to be 25. And then cross that off. I've got a 27. And I've got 1, 2, 3, 28. So I'm going to write 3 8s as we go. 8, 28, and 28. Nearly there. We're now going to do the 30s. So I've got 34, 33, 35, 39, 30. That's it. I then write those ones in. So I'm going to have 30 itself. And then 33, 34, 35, and 39. Cross those off. And the last one are our 40s. I've already done the 46 in red, so I'll do the 42 in red as well. Adding those in, we've got 42 and 46. Alright, so we've successfully put all of those data into a stem and leaf plot. The last thing we need is a key to match, so we're going to say a key. We can pick any number we want. Let's do the basic ones. So we'll do 1, and then a 0, and that's going to be equal to 10. You can pick any number you want, just highlighting the fact that the stem is our tens and the leaf is our units. Okay, we have one more example question. All right, so this is a worded question. So the ages of people sitting in a sushi restaurant at lunch were recorded and displayed below. So first of all, we're going to draw a stem and leaf plot to represent the data. Remember to include a key. To make this a bit quicker, I'm going to zoom through this, but color code still. Okay, so there's our stem and leaf plot. The only thing I've forgotten is a key. So I might put it above here. The key, again, I might do 27 is 27 to indicate that the stem is our tens and the leaf is our units. We've then got the stem and leaf plot. We've got the key. Then we need to find the youngest and the oldest people. So the youngest, let's start with the youngest. Does that make sense? Remember, the youngest, looking at this stem and leaf, is we're going to go all the way up because that's going from lowest to highest, and we're going to pick the one closest to the stem. That person, now that's the 5. Remember, we need to look at the stem to check what that number actually represents. The youngest was 15 years old. Okay, and the oldest, again, we're going to do pretty much the opposite. We're going to work down the stem and pick the furthest one away. There's only one on this one, so that's going to be 65 years old. Okay, part C. What is the most common age? So we're looking for numbers that repeat. So is there a number that is repeating and repeating together? And that's these 3 9s here. Hopefully you can see that. I'll just indicate these 3 9s repeat. We've got 2 9s here that repeat, but the most common is these 9s. Remember, these are represented with the stem of 1, so these are all 19. So the 19 is the most common. Remember, when you get a worded question, you should really have a worded answer. Most common age. And then we've got part D. Part D, what is the most common age bracket? Okay, so which stem this would be. So we need to look for which stem has the most people in it. And hopefully you can see up here that the blue stem, this 2, is the most. But we need to think what numbers would be in that age bracket. So hopefully, what would the youngest person be? Well, that would be a 0. So that would be 20 as a number. And the oldest person in the bracket would be 29. So 20 to 29 would be the most common age bracket. Now, remembering that as soon as you go over 29, you would be in the pink age bracket. And if you are under 20, you would be in the orange. Thank you for watching.